Mary Elizabeth Bowser was a servant for the Confederate President Jefferson Davis, but no one would have imagined she was feeding vital information to the Union Army. This is the story of a Civil War spy ring known as Richmond Underground, involving the daughter of John Van Lew, one of Richmond's elite families, and a woman enslaved at birth by that same family. The daughter's name was Elizabeth Van Lew. The woman born into slavery was Mary Elizabeth Bowser. Together, they operated an extensive spy ring for the Union Army. Elizabeth Van Lew hated slavery, and when the war broke out, she decided to do something about it. Mary Bowser was freed by the Van Lew family after the death of John Van Lew. Elizabeth arranged for Mary Bowser to be educated in Philadelphia, and when she returned to Richmond, she worked for the Van Lew family as a household servant. So how did the spy ring work? When war broke out, Elizabeth and her mother began caring for wounded Union soldiers in Libby Prison, which was located in Richmond. They brought food, clothing, writing paper, and other things to the imprisoned soldiers. Elizabeth even helped some escape, providing them with information of safe houses. She was able to get Union sympathizers appointed to prison staff. Captured Union prisoners gave Van Lew valuable information on Confederate troop level and movements, which she passed on to the Union commanders. Van Lew recommended Mary Bowser for a position on Jefferson Davis' household staff. The household members assumed Bowser was a slave. Assuming Bowser was illiterate, Davis and his cabinet members would often leave out war dispatches and other important papers and speak openly in front of her about troop movement and strategy. She would then pass the information on to Van Lew. Bowser is believed by some historians to have had a photographic memory. Had Bowser been caught, she probably would have been executed, but she was too good to be caught. The Confederates began closing in on Elizabeth Van Lew in 1864, but the South had pretty much lost the Civil War by then. In 1865, Grant captured Richmond. Elizabeth was the first person to raise the U.S. flag in the city. In her journal, she wrote, "O Army of my country, how glorious was your welcome." Grant was so pleased with Van Lew's war effort, he awarded her with an official job as postmaster of Richmond. While there, she modernized the city's postal system, and she also hired several African Americans. All employees worked for the same pay and benefits. She served in that capacity until President Rutherford B. Hayes replaced her in 1877. Elizabeth Van Lew, though, was shunned by Richmond. They considered her a traitor. Unfortunately, very little is known about Mary Elizabeth Bowser after her work as a spy was over. Her records were destroyed by the U.S. government, presumably for her protection. It is mostly believed, though, that after the Civil War ended, Mary was a teacher for the Freedmen's Bureau schools in Virginia, Florida, and Georgia. To become a teacher, she opened a school for former slaves and taught them herself. Most people think she moved to West Indies in 1867 to be with her new husband, and this is where the historical record of her life ends.